Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel. So what I thought I was going to do today was, I kept saying I'm going to doodle or Zentangle, whatever, on here on my channel, and I've never done it. So I'm being brave today, and I'm going to try and do, well, I'm going to do two cards. One is 5x5, one is 5x7. So when I went down to my recent holiday, we tend to go on the train because it's nice just to sit back and relax on the train. And when we were going down from Edinburgh to Cambridge, because that was where we were going first, and I was doing a little bit of doodling on some paper. I think actually this was on the way back, because this is a map of Cambridge, because anyway, that was there, and I doodled on the back and did some bits and bobs, and I really like this one which I've done, so I thought that perhaps I would do that on this card. And then this I think was on the way down, so they are just some little bits of doodles that I've kind of taught myself, but I've also learned some of that from various people I've seen on YouTube. So I thought today I'd do two cards, and I can't find any black card, so I'm going to go around the edge with some VersaFine ink in black, so that it will help that to stand out, and the same for this one. Now I do have, put that to the side, I do have these Faber-Castell pens. I've had them for ages because I have done doodling before. I've done various things before, but I just don't do it as much or as often as I could. So I got these out TK Maxx. As I say, I've had them for a long time. So they are 0.3, which is probably the one I use for drawing. So it's quite a fine point. And then there's a 1.5, which is black as well, and that's more like a kind of felt pen. And then there's a 0.7, which is another quite fine nib. So it's probably actually these two, the 0.3 and the 0.7, which is small and medium, that I probably use the most. And then there's this red one, deep red, which is a B. And I do sometimes colour in if I do colour in, but I thought I would just try and do it in black, but we'll see how we go. So as I say, we've got the base card is 5x5. This is another bit of card which I'm going to put black around the edges because I couldn't find any black card, and then we're going to have the design on top, so it'll be white, black, white, and maybe red. And the same here, 5x7, I think that's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, same thing, black around the edges, and this piece is 4.5 by 6.5. So this card is, the base card are card bases from Hobbycraft, but the card I'm going to be using to draw in onto is actually Pink Frog Super Smooth card for actually inking on, but I just like doing it onto Super Smooth. So I'm just going to get started. So let's see what happens, folks. Excuse me. So I'm going to do this type of floral coming off that side here, and I may do some other bits and pieces, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'm not really going to use any tools. I mean, if you wanted to try and draw this, you could use maybe a round, something round. You could go on the inside of a washi tape, but I'm just going to do it freehand. So it's just kind of like a half moon coming out of the side or of the card, because there I go. It's not the full, I could do one in the centre, but I just like the look of it coming. So I'm going to go and do another one, and another one, and another one. And there's no right or wrong way to do this, I don't think. It's just whatever you fancy. Now I'm going to start the petal, so I'm going to start it up here, and it's going to be a sort of teardroppy type shape. And then I'm going to do one at the bottom. So I'm going to turn it round because that's easier for me to just do that. And then I'm going to fill in. So it's a kind of teardroppy shape that I'm making. And I'm just kind of, it doesn't matter that's there because I've got something. I'm going to make this slightly fatter to go in there. Now I can put bits in between, which I might. So that would have a bit kind of there. And then just kind of there at the back as well. I could put a wee bit in there and then just kind of there as well. So that's kind of the starts of the flower. So on this piece, I'm going to just do a couple of oval shapes, like oval rugby ball shapes. I'll do it this way so you can actually see what I'm doing. Like that. And then I'm going to do some kind of like, as if it's kind of ridges. I don't know if that's the word. They're just lines, but they're kind of curving. So they're kind of, let me see. So instead of it being a line like that, it's kind of curved like that. And the flower was kind of like a kind of teardrop shape like that. So kind of curved in the middle. I'll probably go over it with something else after I've kind of done the basics of the flower and the petals. So I feel like I need to go in between these because there's too much space in between. That's what I feel. Up here as well. I'm trying not to hit the camera, but I've just hit it with my glasses there. So that's what it's looking like now. For these bits, I'm going to come up. I'm going to do this and just at different sort of heights. They don't have to be at the same kind of height. Like that. Just you can have as many as you like. And then I'm going to just keep it quite simple because I don't want you to be put off too much. And just the same there. Maybe a smaller one and then a longer one, a bit wee smaller one here. I mean, I could just leave it like this, but I don't want to. I want to add extra bits to it shortly. And then this last piece, which can go up to there. And I didn't add a bit there, so we'll just add a bit there. So I'm going to take the next pen, the medium pen, which is 0.7, and I'm going to just, hopefully it works. So she might not be working this. Maybe run out. I have had them for a bit. I think that one's run out. Yep, I'll not be using that then. I'll just go back to the one I had. So I'm just popping some little oval filled in bits at the end of these lines. And I can just do more like that, just to fill that in, and just on there, and turn it here so that you can see what I'm actually doing. I'm not hiding it too much. Just a kind of oval shape on the end, just colouring that in. I'm going to do one up here as well, here. I'm not thinking about it too much because I could, and that would take the enjoyment out of it though. So just trying to not think about it too much, putting a few extra in. Like that, and even now you can see it's starting to take a bit of shape. Put one here as well. Do these ones. And this one here. Some of the bits are getting a bit too big there. Let's just make them slightly smaller. Don't want them to be too big and overpowering. And if you were doing a card for somebody, anybody really, all these pieces are totally unique because nobody else is going to draw. They might draw something similar, but they're not going to draw exactly the same as you. They're not going to have the same drawing style really either. I wouldn't have thought. There we go. So that's that, which looks absolutely fine as it is. I'm just going to come in with an extra line down some of these bits, just kind of giving them an extra bit like that. Okay, and then I'm going to colour this bit in here in the middle. Would be better if I had. I could use a felt pen actually, one as well. And on this bit here, I'm just going to do zigzag V shape just in there. Now I'm going to colour in some of these bits here. I've gone over there, but I can easily just do that. And then I'm just going to colour this piece in too. And these wee bits here. Just in the black pen. Now I do have other pens, but they're not, I've not got them on the desk, so I've got a few other pens that I can bring in next time when I'm doing this. So I'm just going to bring in this thicker marker here and just go over some of that, and then over this kind of thinner bit, and then over these bits that I did in the centre of the flower, and then there. And I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to put a few wee dots just round and about here. That just gives it a bit more interest as well. That, and there we go. So that's my first one. So hope you like it. Okay, so we'll pop that there, and then we'll go to this one here. So for this one here, what could we do? Let me see, I had a few things on this card. Now I have tried to do this before, but it's never particularly perfect. I think I still need to work on that one. This one, let's do this one. So I'm going to use the number 3 again. So I'm going to do it from the corner so that when I turn it round, it'll, if I turn it round. She says I might just do it on the corner. We'll see. So this one's not too difficult. I mean, it looks difficult, but it's really not. So what I start off with is even. So I'll show you on here before I actually do it on. So what I kind of start off with to do this is I just do a sort of circle shape, but I don't join it together at the bottom. And then I put these 2 lines in, and then I put another bit there, and then I just colour that in round like that. Okay, and then to get these bits on at the top here, what I do is I just go over like that, then I go over again, and then I get a bit smaller, so make it the top slightly more rounded like that. And that's basically how I do it. And when I do the leaves and things, I just add them in as a little teardrop. So yep, that's basically how I do it. So let me see if I can do it. So I want one like that. So I'm gonna just do another one of these. Then I put these in. Okay, and then you can just bring that under. And then I want to do it again. So I'm doing a slightly bigger one this time, and then doing that, and then I bring in, and then I'll do 3, I'll do 1 sort of down here as well. So down, and then pull that back, and then I could use the bigger pen now, 1.51, to colour that in. So I'd usually just colour that in. Might bring that bit down a bit as well. Don't have to though. And the same here. That on this one as well. I keep bashing this camera because I keep moving my head. Right, and then all I do is do this. So I just do another slightly bigger bit. Then I start further up. So I don't start down here, I start here. And then start there. Start in a bit. In a bit, and you can do a bit in the middle if you want, and then that gives it like the look of more of these. So that's how you do it. So let's just do that. So the same thing, start at the bottom, go round, start slightly further up. Oh, that wasn't so good, surely. And then you can just go in and add extra bits if you want to. And I'm just going to turn this round a wee bit. Up a bit. Oh. That's clever, that one. And one more just on the top, and then just kind of filling in the bits there. There. And then you can just add, I made that quite straight, but then I can just kind of make it a bit more fluid. So it kind of joins on to these other pieces here. There we go, that's quite nice, I think. And then just to add the leaves, I usually just do a line and then do that. So a line, and then one of those, smaller one there. Smaller one there, and some more little ones. Can do the line first, whatever's easier. I might do a couple of smaller ones just down here, like that. And then I'm just going to do it as if it's coming out of a sort of bit of grass or something down there, so it doesn't look like it's just floating in the air and doing nothing really. So just trying to finish that off quite nicely. This bit went a bit wrong, well, not wrong, but so just go over these bits and hide them. You can just neaten them up a bit, it doesn't matter too much. So the same with this, I'm going to just go over that a bit. So I want to just then, so I've made the line, so that one's kind of got a ziggy-zaggy bit in the middle. This one I'm going to do the ziggy bit, and this one I'm going to do the same, ziggy. And then for these bits I'm just going to do some as if it's veins, and I'm going to fill it in quite small, and then that one bigger spaces, this one bigger spaces, this one quite small spaces, this one smaller, and that one bigger, like that. And then I'm trying to think what else I could pop in. So I might just pop in, I've got this bit of grass at the bottom, so I'm going to do spirals onto there, spirals onto there. So just spiral it round until you can't spiral it anymore. So start in the middle, that's where I find easier anyway. I mean, the spirals aren't particularly brilliant. Spirals, and then you can actually put some marks on your stem. I couldn't think of the word, but stem, isn't it? So I'm just doing straight across ones. I was doing kind of more curved, so more kind of straight ones. If there's a big space, you can go back and put some extra in between. So it's just fiddling about really with all these bits, so that can have a few bits in the middle, and that bit there, and And then I just want to go over that. Hopefully I won't go out of the line. Just go over it a wee bit. And if you did do this and go out the line, it's not a great big problem, is it? Just make it look part of the actual design, is what I see. This one I'm going to do a kind of ziggy jaggy bit all the way down. Like that. And this one is going to have little circles. Not all the way, just on certain areas. So a couple of areas, this bit and that bit. I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't want it to be too overpowering. And then I'm just going to get my other one to just do a few dots again in between these bits. Okay, and that's it. That's my two pieces. So, what do you think? So now the next thing I want to do, pop them to the side with the bases. So the next thing I want to do is take my VersaFine ink and I'm just going to go round the edge of those. I'll get this one out the way. So this is a good thing to do if you don't have any black card or paper and you need a sort of matte layer in black. It's a good thing to do. So that's one. And then this one, I know I've got a mess on there, but it's fine. And this ink dries quite quickly, so it should be fine. And it shouldn't matter if you get it on to the back of the card, because as I say, it dries quite quickly. There we go. So that's that. Now to try and clean this up first before I carry on. So where is my water? Aha! It says I don't want to be found today. Oh dear, when is the water? I don't know. Right, I'm going to have to leave that just now and try and get that off after. So the next thing I want to do is to pop these on with glue, which is over here. And so we'll do this one first. And this should just help the eye to sort of focus into the design at the front, I think. Now I'm not going to put any writing on these cards because I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet, so I think I'm just going to leave it off just now. Okay, so that's this bit up. It just give it an extra layer like that. That glue should be dry, shouldn't be. It dries quite quickly. I mean ink even. Silly me. Let's just pop, and then that will go on just like that. There. So what I'm going to do for the next few videos is, one video I'm going to do this drawing, tangling, and the next video we'll do fun folds. So it'll be a mixture of this and a mixture of fun folds as well, or fancy folds, whatever you want to call them. So that's nice, like that. I mean, you could have it that way if you wanted. I suppose I could have done it the other way, but I'm having it this way up. I've got something on there, I can easily cover that with something. So that's card 1. And then let's do card 2. So please give this a try. It's not honestly too hard. And if you follow these instructions, I'm sure you'll be able to do something just the same as me. There we go. Or just have a wee couple of shots before you actually do it onto something. And then, yeah, put it on a card. I'm going to do that 10th fold this time. Because it's sometimes quite nice to have a 10th fold card for change. There we go. I'm super proud of those. And I've got another black bit on there, but I can easily sort that. So thanks so much for watching. Please do let me know your thoughts, and if you we're going to do some more of this, as I said, and thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and it would be really nice if you could consider buying me a coffee, because if anybody wants any of my cards that I've made, I would happily send them out to you. But you could help me with the postage by buying me a coffee. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time with a fancy fold. Bye for now.